There we go.
Woo, we're live. I have to remember it because I very rarely do this. So I was like, I hope I can figure out how to do it on StreamYard.
No, it was like, I think there's supposed to be a countdown, but whatever.
Yeah, right. And it works, whatever.
I never know.
Okay, so this is like my third time ever hosting reading sprints. So let's see how this goes.
Hey, it's 3 times more than me. I've never hosted a reading sprint.
Well, I want to try and make this an ongoing thing, but we'll see how that goes. My schedule doesn't really allow it very often.
What time is it there for you?
6:30.
Okay, so I remembered yesterday that 911 is back on air, and it's the episode where my favorite character is in a coma. So I have to leave by 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 8:55.
Okay.
So I can make it and watch my episode.
No problem. Totally fine.
I went to bed and was like, oh my god. I have to
Priorities. Watch. It's fine. I understand.
He's in a coma. Come on.
So wait. Okay. So I know you ship Buddy. Is it like canon or is it just fandom? Oh, okay. No. I've like wondered that for a while now, but I
went in thinking it was canon because everyone made it seem like it was. You see so many edits of it, and I was like, "Oh, this is like totally canon." Yeah, no, I was bamboozled into watching this damn show.
Oh, wow, that's a shame.
It was.
That's
kind of how I went into Supernatural though too, because I was like, "There's no way that Dean is in a relationship with an angel," but everything on Tumblr says that he is. And I checked it out, and I was bamboozled again.
Wait, that's so okay. That's actually why I started watching Supernatural the first time too. But I lost interest after like the first season, so I was like, and then I googled it and I was like, oh, it's not even real. That's just fandom. Wow,
and
like
that's so impressive. You have to wait 4 seasons to meet him.
Yeah, honestly.
And in 911, you have to wait 1 season to meet the other part of the ship too. So it's like, what the heck? Can you just introduce him from the start?
This slow burn, man.
Just
hello.
Hi,
yes, so we were doing reading sprints, so I guess we should talk about what we're reading.
Oh god, I don't know. I never know what I'm gonna read. What are you reading?
So well, actually, okay, I have 2 options. So I put The Wrath of Wolves on my thingy because that's what I want to try and finish tonight is The Wrath of Wolves, which is the 3rd book in the Dark as the Night series. And like I've been freaking loving it, but I am also reading The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine, and I went on this roller coaster ride with that book of being like, do I enjoy this? Do I not? Do I want to DNF it? Do I want to unhaul it? Should I just keep reading? And it was an experience. So I've picked up the audiobook, and now that I'm reading the audiobook, I can handle it a little bit better. It's very, I hate the main character, but I'm just intrigued to see where things go.
Yeah.
And yet I've hit the point where she's like trying to officially seduce this other woman's husband. And like, I just couldn't do it on the audio. I was cringing so hard. And I was like, I gotta try reading this physically and see if I can like skip that section a little bit or just like browse through it.
Okay.
And we'll see how that goes. So that's probably the 2 in between.
All right. It sounds like one sounds much better than the other.
Yeah. I keep debating on if I should just put this book down because it's interesting. Like I do want to know what's gonna happen, but God, this main character is the worst. And I mean, like, I knew she was trying to steal this other woman's life going into it, but she's just so terrible. I don't know.
I can't do terrible characters. Sometimes, like, I'll try and push through, but I never enjoy the book if I hate the main character.
I think if it was shorter, I wouldn't mind it as much, but it's like 400 pages.
Oh, yeah, that's a chunk.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, speaking of chunks, so I have, where is it? Oh, it's somewhere over there. I have City of Brass that I need to start. I also have to finish my reread of Ravensong that I've been doing for like 7 months now. Or I have, what was the other one? Starting Emma. Because I don't know if I'll be able to finish it by the end of the month if I don't try and chunk this one out.
I mean, I'm gonna vote Raven Song because that's my favorite
Yeah.
of the
That's
series.
kind of what I'm leaning towards.
But like, I'm also intrigued about City of Brass.
I am too. I would just have to have the audiobook with it, and I don't know where my headphones are, so Ravensong might have to be the one.
Oh, well. There you go. Process of elimination. Hey, Robin.
Hi, Robin.
I know what I want to read, but there's things I need to read first, sadly. That's the worst.
So
That was me at the beginning of the month. I was so scared. I was sliding into a reading slump, and I kept looking at my TBR and just like nothing sounded appealing. And then I used my TBR jar to just pick up like a totally random book off my physical shelves, and I ended up reading the first volume of Soul Eater, the manga, and I was so obsessed with it that I like immediately went and bought the next two and read the second one, and I was like, okay, now we're on a roll. Now we gotta go in.
Good.
Yeah, and I want to keep reading it, but I'm not allowed to buy any more books. So it's like I can't do that because I have to go buy the next. And like I only have the first 3 and there's 25 volumes.
Oh.
Yeah, so
are they expensive each volume?
Actually I don't know. I should probably look at that. That's a
good question. You add it all up and see that number and know.
That's a good question. $13. So like
that's a good chunk of change. So
yeah, exactly. And oh, I'm so annoyed. I've been wanting to start the series for so long. I finally did. And when I went to buy the next 2, they're re-releasing them in hardback styles. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And they're so pretty, and like they're these nice like black with yellow accents on them, and each of them has just like the one main character focus, and they're so cool. Oh. But they're $25 a piece, and there's 25 volumes, so it's like I cannot afford that.
God, who can afford that?
I know. It's like
that's like one a year you buy for the next 25 years.
Right. Honestly.
Ooh.
But anyway, Aspasia, so what are you going to be? What do you have to read? Like, tell us in the chat because I'm intrigued. And then Robin, I'm in the middle of 2 books, Sex Cult Nun or Queen of Shadows. How are you liking Queen of Shadows? I'm very intrigued about your thoughts because that is where I DNF'd the Throne of Glass series.
Oh, that's a Throne of Glass book? I haven't read any of those yet.
I think it's the 5th one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that sounds right.
Series intimidates me so much.
Oh, yeah, same. Like, it was one of those that I never really intended to read, but it's my best friend in real life's favorite series. So I told her I would try it. And like my feelings just kept going downhill. And eventually she was like, okay, Nat, you can't tell me your feelings anymore because it hurts. And I was just like, I'm sorry. And eventually she gave me just like a full out summary of everything that happens in the series. And I kept like poking holes in it throughout her explanation. And she was like, I need you to shut the hell up. You're ruining this for me. I was like, I'm so sorry.
I got Throne of Glass on Audible, and I didn't know that this can happen, but like Audible can delete your audiobooks. So I got it, and I have it downloaded on my phone, so like I still have access to it. I haven't checked if it actually works, but I went to go click on it one day, and it was not there anymore. Like I can see it in my list, but like I can't do anything besides listen now because it's downloaded on my phone. But there's like nothing else.
Weird.
It's so weird. But I heard that that's like a thing that they can just like, you don't really own it. You just kind of have this thing that's out in the virtual world that they can yank back whenever they want.
No,
I know. I was so mad. So like out of protest, I don't even want to read it, even though I already spent a credit on it.
There you go. Okay, so Robin votes City of Brass.
It's so big.
That's same, honestly.
I know, but then I'm like saving all of my long books until the end of the month, which also is not very wise.
Yeah, that's how you get them to roll over.
I will fail my TBR jar for sure.
I started the Attack on Titan series, but got stuck at 6 because I can't find the books after that in stores, and also it's expensive buying 25 plus books in a series. Yeah, That's one I've been very intrigued about watching the anime, but I'm also interested in the manga. But you're right, honestly. Like manga can get really expensive because some of those series are so long.
Yeah, I haven't started many graphic novels or anything. I'm just like in the middle of Saga. Or not the middle. I'm at the last one that was published before this recent one. I don't know if that was volume 9 or 8.
You're a good ways in then.
Yeah. So like they took a long pause. So.
Okay. Oh, whoops. There we go. I'm going to do my assigned readings for class first. Ugh, I'm so sorry. Then I'll read Salt and Sugar, two rival bakery families working together against a chain. That sounds fun. Is it a romance? It seems like a romance. I'm actually liking Queen of Shadows so far, only 100 pages in, but it helps that I don't remember anything from the third book, so I've just been making stuff up. I love that. That's great. Also,
I feel like I would go in on the entire series at once. Like, I feel like I would be the dumb person who buys the entire series.
Well,
I'm like, well, I might as well save money.
Oh, man, I see so many people doing that, and every time I'm like, but what if you hate it?
I would just push through. I would just spend days of my life like, I'm not wasting this $112 or whatever it is now.
Paige, no. Oh my God.
I'm trying to be better. That's why I haven't purchased it or read the first one, because I don't want to do that. I'm trying to be smarter. But I would. One day I probably will.
Yeah, that's why I'm not allowed to do that. Because if I know that would happen, I would like read one of them and then I just end up hating the series. And I just like look at the rest and it's like, you were a waste of money.
I know.
And you're just
so
gonna
many
sit here.
But I also have the issue with like, you buy it in one format and then they publish a different format or size or cover and then nothing matches, and I need my shelves to match.
Yeah.
So you buy the whole giant 13 box set thing.
Then they all match. Right? I mean, honestly, I used to never care about my books matching until I got on BookTube, and now like I've started to become one of those people, and I kind of hate it.
Yeah.
Because then it's like you have to either have to like wait if it's a paperback copy, like you have to wait for the paperback to come out, or if it's a hardback, like they're all going to be more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you have to make sure like the certain styling you want. And I used to never be a cover snob, but I really want to read what was The Adventures of Amina. Shoot, what's the full the new Shannon Chakraborty book that came out that's like the pirate fantasy. Like I really want to read that one, and I thought about getting it from Book of the Month, but I hate the American cover, and I was just like, why? Like, why does that matter to me?
And then you see the special editions of things and you're like, well, that would look so much better. But then you have to buy like, ugh.
I'm not allowed to try and get on any of the like fancy book subscription boxes. I won't let myself because I'll become addicted, and either that or I'll continuously get the books and never read them.
Me too, 100%. Yeah. My TBR shelf would be falling on top of me.
Oof. Queen of Shadows is a Cassandra.
They're the same person, basically, in my brain.
Both of them have like a ton of series that all interweave together. So, and everybody knows about them. Saga is so good.
Saga's up and down for me.
I have the first one on, like the first volume on my TBR, and I've been intrigued by it, but I don't know why. I always wait for graphic novels for like a 24-hour readathon or something. Yeah. Even though I barely ever film those. I like maybe do 2 a year, and yet I'm still like, oh, this would be perfect for whenever I film one. Don't know when that's gonna happen.
I made a mistake of reading all of the ones that I had in like a 3-day span, and I just overdid it, and I was not enjoying it after a while. Like you get to a certain spot and it's not that great. Like a couple of volumes are not very good, and then it kind of picks up, but then ends on the worst cliffhanger ever.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
It was a rough cliffhanger.
Hey, planning on reading briefly A Delicious Life.
A Delicious Life.
I don't know what this is. What is this? Is it a contemporary? Is it lit fic? Is it a romance? Is it a cookbook? Salt and Sugar is a YA contemporary. Cute. Volume
I've
9.
heard 10 is rough.
Ooh.
Something happens in the newest one that's like not great.
Oh man.
I also don't want to buy it.
That's fair also. Like I definitely get that. There's some books on my TBR where I'm a little scared to pick them up because of like how rough they're gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel that.
I have a whole video idea about the books that I know are gonna make me cry. I started filming it yesterday. I'm gonna include a cry counter.
That's a smart idea. I like that.
Very interesting. I think I was at like 5 or 6 times that I cried in that last book. And it's the least sad.
Dang. Okay, that's wow. I love that. I'm excited
I cry over everything too, so like I'm gonna have to put a disclaimer like, I'm a big baby, so take my tears with a grain of salt. Historic fiction.
Of a ghost in a monastery falling in love with a woman tenant who is involved with. Interesting.
Sounds wild.
Very funky. Okay, so it's like perfectly well. Okay, it's not 6:45 anymore. It's now 6:46. But how long would you like to go for? 30 minutes? 45? Yeah.
Either. 30. Let's go 30.
30. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna try one of the little Pomodoro kitten things for the first time. I've never tried these before. So let me. Ooh. See, we're gonna see how I'm still very new with StreamYard.
I've never done it, so I wish I could help. Oh, cute.
Okay. Coolio. And 30 minutes. Everybody read. Did that scare you?
Yeah, that was loud.
Okay, how do we do? Well, first off, what did you decide to read?
I'm reading Ravensong. I'm trying to be good. I think I only made it 15 pages because this book is dense.
Yeah, that's true. We're like, without too spoilery, where are you at?
When the pack leaves Gordo.
Ah!
Yeah, I almost cried.
In the heart.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, when I was talking with TJ Klune when he was signing my books, he made a comment during his talk that he did saying how In the Lives of Puppets was like a little bit more trauma-y. And he said, like, he made a joke like, it's a little bit more similar to Green Creek if anybody here's read that. And I was like, oh no. And then when I was talking to him, I was like, so should I really be prepared to cry? And he was like, I mean,
I did
not
cry.
that hard, but yeah.
Yeah, I would say not as hard as Green Creek, but I did cry.
Okay.
It was. I had mixed feelings on that one.
Okay. I saw you gave it like 4 stars, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, interesting.
I know. I was hoping to like it more, but I do feel like his writing style in that one kind of matches more to his indie writing style. Like it's still a little bit like it's right in the middle of like how he wrote so like whimsically and like I just feel like Under the Whispering Door and House in the Cerulean Sea are so different writing style wise, so it's like a good medium.
Okay, okay. Good to know.
But not quite as devastating. There is a devastating part though, for sure.
Yeah, whenever it first came up during the talk, he was like, I'm gonna make you guys cry over a vacuum. And I was just like intrigued.
Yeah.
So I got about 22 pages of The Wrath of Wolves. I'm like very into the climax now. So like it's like hit after hit of dramatic things happening. And then I got past the super cringy part in this by like, I don't know, 10 pages. And then it got cringy again. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to put you down once more. I don't know what's going to happen with this book, man. Like, we'll find out.
Secondhand embarrassment or just like it?
It's like kind of both.
Okay.
Because she's like a 26-year-old trying to seduce this guy who he's already like 10 years older than his wife, who's 38. So like the age gap of it just kind of makes me uncomfortable already. And then like she's also best friends with this dude's wife. So it's like, it's just, it's so wrong. And then like taboo, but it's obviously not supposed to be like a sexy kind of taboo. It's very, it's very cringy. Does
she have a reason or does she just want to?
Her whole thing is like she believes she should have been like super rich and super spoiled and like her family's super normal lives just didn't appeal to her. So she's gonna like make herself be like the wife of some rich man. And like that's her whole thing in life. And it's like, I guess like good for you, but like do you have to steal somebody else's husband?
There's plenty of sugar daddies out there.
Yeah, like at one point she's dating some guy who like as a cover, she's like dating some guy who's like pretty rich, and she makes a comment like, I don't want the rich son, I want the rich dad. And I was just like, I mean, you get the money one way or another. I mean, he's spoiling you still.
Yeah, one dies sooner though.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
One you don't have to be married to as long, maybe.
Yeah, and then she like super lusts after him too, which is just very uncomfortable. I don't know, just the way the authors write it just makes me feel uncomfortable. Where it's like this man is like in his 50s. Okay, what else?
To each their own, I guess.
Yeah, it's like not my type, but oh my god, do you have to play with that right now?
Is it the kitty?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, they've
so
both
big.
I know. They've both been whining at my door, and then like I close it and let them in, or I'll let them in, close it, and then they whine at the door again. And so they've like come in and out 3 times already. They're spoiled. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, ooh, I forgot it does that. It does like a 10-minute for like relaxing timer, and then it continues.
Oh.
That's like Pomodoro Kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're still here, hi. And if you are, did you decide to read? And what are you reading? Yeah, same. I feel like the meow should be like more comforting than some other alarm sounds, but it still startles you. 28 pages.
Good.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know what it is about the meow, man. 20 pages of Queen of Shadows. Good.
Good job.
Okay.
I'm trying to annotate this book, and it's just like so much that I want to say, but I'm trying to annotate it for Serena. So like I don't want to like write too many spoilers, but I also like want to have my thoughts for her.
Like, I bet with foreshadowing too with that one would be really fun. But like you can't really point it out if she's reading it for the first time.
I have one of my highlight colors is just important, and I don't write a single thing. I just highlight it in the important color.
That's good. That's smart, actually.
Yeah. I have a little color coordinating cheat list.
Adorable. I'll do the color coordinating for my tabs now, but I haven't hit the point where I do like highlighting. But I love looking at them. They're so satisfying when people have like matching highlighters and their tabs. So pretty.
Yeah. I never use tabs. I don't like when they like get bent and stuff. It bothered me. I would rip them all off. The second one bends.
If you do it where like they just barely stick out, that's how you get around that for the most part.
Yeah, I've been seeing more people do that, but sometimes I'll see them and they're like a quarter of an inch off.
Oh yeah, I have some of my books where like I annotated previously, and they're like that, and it's like, good God, why did I do this?
Oh.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
I hate that.
Yeah. And then like for my House in the Cerulean Sea one, since I took that book out recently, like I was looking at it and I was like, wow, this tabbing system is awful. And my boyfriend was just like, there's a good kind of tabbing system, and I was like, yes. And then I went on a 20-minute rant about it. And he was like, oh my God, what did I start? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I do like seeing how people do it, but my brain doesn't want to stop sometimes. Like I can't stop, write a thought down or put something there. I just have to keep going. I get that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that's what's taking me so long. I never want to pick it up because I'm like, extra brain power to write things down.
Yeah, I get that. She is reading Babel. How are you liking it? See, so many people have this reaction to it, and like I'm very intrigued about Babel, but it also terrifies me.
It just looks so long.
Well, like it's really, I guess like the size of it, but like I don't know, just the entire idea of the magic system seems like I can't wrap my head around it in theory. Yeah. So like I don't know how it would be when I'm reading the book if I would like ever actually feel like I got a hold of it.
It's R.F. Kuang, right?
Yes, I believe so.
I haven't read the Poppy War yet, so I want to start with that one before I get into the other newer ones that she's releasing.
Yeah, I'm intrigued about her stuff. Dude, why are you so noisy right now?
Because you're online.
Apparently. It's like he's attacking every box. I mean, okay, I do have like 3 boxes in here for him to play with, but still. Book darts. There you go. Because those can't bend. They're like metal, I think. Child. Calm yourself. Oh my God. Washi tape sticker circles and fold over the page. That's really smart. I like that. But they look really pretty too.
Yeah. I haven't heard of this at all.
I haven't either. I'm intrigued. What's the cover look like? Oh, okay. I've seen the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know why I looked it up on my computer. It would have been a lot more useful to look it up on my phone. Thank you, Google, for linking.
I love when that happens. I don't think I've seen that.
Wow. I love this, like, type of cover that's really popular right now, where it's like the women with like floral accents over their face. It's so pretty.
I like that too. I like all these like really dark ones with like vibrant colors on top of them.
Mm-hmm.
Looked kind of like that, I think.
I really enjoy it. I'm annotating a lot, but it takes a bit of convincing to pick it up again. Ooh, I get that.
Yeah. Those are always tough.
Yeah.
When you're like, I do want to read it, but like I want to have already read it.
Yeah, it's like I want to read it, but like I don't want to put the effort into reading it.
Like I don't want the active reading part. I just want to be at the end where it's in my brain.
Yeah, that's like some of the higher fantasy books that I want to read. I have feelings like that with it because like higher fantasy freaks me out. I don't know. I just get so nervous that I'm not gonna understand like the world building or the magic system, or like I'm gonna get lost with all the characters. And yeah, so like for a long time I used to always be like, oh, I don't really like fantasy because of all those things.
Yeah.
And then finally like my brother was like, no, you like fantasy. You just like this and this kind of fantasy. And so like that's why I started reading so much YA fantasy when I first got on BookTube. And like I think I figured out what I liked, but now that I'm trying to transition into adults, like what do I do first?
That's so scary.
Yeah, it's like I read Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse to do like a like trying adult fantasy or like serious adult fantasy series. And I read that one in like December, and I've been so nervous to pick up another book for the video that like it's just been sitting in my pending like video ideas for so long now. And on top of that, I think it's also the issue of it seems like so many adult fantasy books are parts of series.
That's what I was
not to start in series.
Yeah, it's overwhelming because it's like the book itself is long. You know, you have to like meet a whole new world, a whole set of characters, and all these things, and then you have to continue on with the series, which is like thousands of pages. That's days of your time.
Yeah, exactly. My mom just handing me something and then freeing Sam. But okay. The magic isn't as prominent as you might expect. It's definitely focused more on academia. Okay, well, that's good to know. That might make me more intrigued to pick it up. Perfect plain read for me because there was no distractions around. I had nothing else to do. That's fair. That's how I feel about fantasy now. I'm scared that I'll struggle now that I've been reading so many other genres.
Yeah, genre hopping's hard.
Yeah, like it's really weird to me now to think that like my first year on BookTube, my like most read genre was fantasy because like now I have such a wider spread. And last year it was romance, and I was like, wow, I never thought I'd really be a romance reader. And then I read, I don't know, like 40 romance books last year, and it's like, maybe I am.
I know. I also think that just romance is just so much easier to get through. Like you just don't have to think as hard about the things that are going on. And every character is like very similar every single book that you read. So like you know the patterns.
Yeah, exactly. Excuse me. It's really funny. So like I do my personal book club with a few friends, and so my friend Allie and I are more like the fantasy readers. But we have this like ongoing thing that anytime she picks a fantasy book, I end up hating it. And then my other friend Kat is more the romance reader, but she's been on a streak lately where anytime she picks a romance book and I read it, if I don't like it, she loves it. If I love it, she hates it. And it's just like, what is like? We're a terrible group of people for a book club, apparently.
It's so wild how different feelings can be, especially when you're best friends too, where it's like, how do we get along on so many other levels and you don't like the same?
Yeah. And then like our friend Ed, I don't know why he decided to join, but he was like, I'm gonna join the book club. And then so we told him, okay, you can join. And like we go through a cycle of who picks the book, and we were like,
Yeah.
you have to read all 3 of our books before you can pick a book to make sure like you're actually going to participate. And I don't know why, but that cycle, every one of us picked a romance book, and I was like, this poor man just wants to make us read some fantasy, and we're making him read so much romance. And then he actually got his month, and he picked his book, and it was like a contemporary, and then he didn't even read his own pick. I was the only one who tried to read it. And it was like, bro. And then he came, and then like he just disappeared from the chat for a while. And then the next month was that gymnastics romance book, and he was the first one to read it. I was like, Ed, bro, are you serious?
Totally a romance book club.
Yeah, apparently we're turning him into a romance reader. It was so funny.
That is funny. I love that. Oh, I need to find some in-person or like real friend group book clubs.
Yeah, I used to try and do so many book clubs because I had like a Facebook one, I had an in-life one, and then like my like college friends one on Discord, and not even including all the booktube ones.
Oh yeah.
And then finally I was like, I have to give up. I cannot participate in all of these.
Yeah. So I feel about readathons too. There's just so many all the time. I can't keep track.
True. Also, speaking of book club books, have you started or read Stoneblind yet for
Not yet.
Book Bun? Okay. I got like 30% in, and then my my library hold expired, and so it got sent back. And I'm very on the fence on if I actually want to continue or not.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, for being a story about Medusa, it's very odd that so much of the book isn't really focused on Medusa, at least for like the first half, because you see like so many other perspectives of like other gods and other people. And part of it, like I understood, was following the introduction of Perseus, but it's still weird that like the titular character doesn't have more attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's on the cover.
Exactly. And like I think Adriana actually only gave it 3 stars, and like I know she really likes Greek retellings also, so that made me really nervous when I think she gave 3 stars, pretty sure.
Okay.
So
yeah, Randy Lynn, you read it first, because I know I always feel the same way. And if you hate it, I will do that.
Oh, there you go, for some in-person book clubs.
I do. I need to go actually to my library and pick books there. I just use Libby.
I get that. Like like ours is Cloud Library. I was so obsessed with it for so long that I never actually went into the library.
Yeah. I just have so many books on my TBR shelf that I'm like, if I go into the library, I'm gonna have so many more books that I'll need to read before those ones.
Yeah, honestly. Well, I hope you enjoyed a little bit more than I was.
Yeah.
I put myself on hold for the physical copy. We'll see how I feel whenever it finally comes in. It's supposed to come in like 2 days, so we'll see. Okay, now my dog is barking.
Yeah, Ariadne wasn't great.
See, I think the first half of it was like so slow, but I actually ended up liking the latter half. But I think part of why I liked the latter half was also to do with Phaedra, because I thought like her whole thing with like falling in love with her stepson, I mean, taboo but fun and way more interesting.
It was way more interesting.
So I'm really intrigued to try Phaedra, which like I think is Noelle. Can you calm down?
No.
I think is Noelle 7 Pages book club read for this month. So hopefully that'll go a little bit better. We'll see.
I saw somebody post that. Was that you that posted about it?
Possibly. Actually, wait, I was about to say, Adriana, I think you read that one too, and I think she said it was like 5 stars. So see, I just trust her for Greek retellings now. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, exactly. It makes me sad. Because like,
yeah,
it's Medusa's story.
Yeah, like let her have her moment.
Honestly.
I don't know who that is.
Olive POV? Like, Like a literal olive?
That's what I'm thinking.
Like, wait, I'm so confused.
With olive.
I was gonna say, wait, who's Olive in mythology? Or is it like an actual olive? Which is
It's an actual olive. Like, I need to start it immediately.
that
actually sounds really fun.
That sounds so fun. That's like with the Last House on Needless Street, where everybody was like, it has a perspective of a cat, and I was like, bam, sold. Literal olives? What? Okay. I have to keep reading it for that alone. I'm intrigued now.
Okay. Yeah, if it makes it all worth it, like, for sure.
That's so funny. Fedra started out slow, but it picked up in the end. Okay, good to know.
She did write an olive.
Like, I
skip over that, Anne. An olive point of view. I love that.
That's original. That's creative. Wow. Okay.
That sounds fun.
Anyway, another sprint.
Yes.
Another 30 minutes.
Sounds good to me.
Coolio. How did I do this again? Share screen. Okay. Whew, I can do this.
You can do hard things.
Technology. I can do that.
Yeah. Sometimes. I question it.
Every time.
I caught at 17 seconds, so I was prepared. I braced myself.
How did we do?
We're at 18 pages, but my grandfather walked in right when a certain character was giving back his stone wolf, so it was an inopportune moment, but I did have to like write some address things for him because he has bad handwriting. How'd you do?
I think I got about 20 pages read.
Nice.
I've officially surpassed the climax, and we're in like the after the fact happy things that make me feel happier than
Good.
the climax. There's this really like gross visual image of like a ghost like climbing out of someone's mouth, and it was just like, don't like that. That's
very lovely.
That's strange. And then I also think they introduced a like queer female side character, and seeing as how there's supposed to be 2 more books in the series, I'm like, I wonder if we might follow her at some point. That would be fun.
I need to continue on with the series. I only read the first one.
It's so underrated, but it's so I like that you immediately in your video where you read it were like, if you like A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, you should read this. And I was like, yes, that's what I've been saying to everyone.
Yeah.
They're so like
those vibes immediately. I was like, oh yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I keep meaning to do a if you like this, try this video, and that's one that I've had on there like since I read the first book 2 years ago.
Yeah, I have a whole list of ones that I like have for that, but none of them make sense except for like the vibes. The vibes is why I'm telling you this, so I don't know how to structure that video.
Yeah, I get that. The other one that I'm like always calling back to is if you like Matthias and Nina from Six of Crows, then The Wolf and the Woodsman, because same energy, except Vicky is a way bigger asshole.
So it was you that I always have that in the back of my mind. So it was you who said that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Vicky, like I said, Vicky, the female character, is a way bigger asshole, but like same energy still.
Okay.
I took a shower and read 8 pages. Nice.
Shower. My hair is so dry, shampooed, thick.
Same. I also got dinner, which, you know, that's important.
I need to order dinner. So our next sprint, I'm going to go ask, what pizza do you want?
Wow, that cat will give me every single time. Like I said, every time. I don't know what it is. It's supposed to be so much nicer, but I don't know if it really is. 1 chapter, about 16 pages. Nice.
Very nice.
Good job, everybody.
We do good. I think I can do one more sprint. And then, like I said, favorite characters in a coma. I gotta watch the show. I have to know.
Okay, so we got until like 8:20 to talk, people.
I know that I'll stay up until midnight, and I'm trying to film a video where I'm like waking up at 7 every day. So I can't stay up until midnight to watch the episode on Hulu and then wake up at 7.
That's fair, honestly. I'm trying to get back in the habit of reading in the morning.
And
like it pained me to set my alarm at 7:15 yesterday, but I was just like, no, I gotta do it. I need to get back on track. And then what happened? I couldn't fall asleep until like 1 a.m. So that was fun.
I got a Kindle, so now like it's nice, so I don't have to hold the book while I'm in bed trying to read.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's so easy to just like close my eyes.
Yes.
So light.
Yeah, I get that. That's like I'm not allowed. Well, excuse me. I will sometimes, but I don't like to let myself read on my phone when I'm trying to fall asleep because that happens, and then my phone's dead when I wake up in the morning, and it's like, shit.
So the Kindle has been nice, but it's also like, but it just go on my pillow real quick. Sure. Yeah. And I'm also reading an arc for this too, so like reading an arc at 7 in the morning. It's a little rough.
What's the arc?
London Seance Society. So it just came out like last week, but I got the arc like a week and a half before it came out. It's like awesome, great. Plenty of time.
I love whenever they do that. It's like, okay, I'm glad you don't expect me to read this before it releases. Yeah. How are you liking it?
It's not bad. There's a female point of view and a male point of view, and every time it has to be the male point of view, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to read from you. So
Damn.
like, it seems like to be leaning more towards the female point of view, so like I can get through more chapters. But the second it's his, I'm like, okay, off for the night.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Robin, I
But
read 4
it's
words.
graphic, which is fun.
Oh, that's fun. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Cool. Like, I went very back and forth on if I want to try and read it because her previous book was just like okay for me. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
We'll
recognize
see.
the cover of that one, but I don't feel like I've heard a lot of people talk about it. So it must have been like,
Yeah, like I expected it to be more murdery since it's like about women with poisons, but it was more historical fiction style.
yeah, this one's supposed to be about like people who can do seances and talk to the ghosts and stuff, but it does seem to be more historical too.
Okay.
We haven't actually had a seance. They're just all off screen.
Oh. All right then.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Okay. I read 4 pages and then TikTok sucked me in.
TikTok gets me.
That's why I'm not allowed to download it. I've never allowed myself because it's like I
Good.
will waste.
Don't
so much
ever.
time. I very rarely allow myself to look at reels on Instagram because the same thing. I'll literally sit there for like an hour just going through and being like, okay, send this to a friend, send this to my boyfriend, send this to my brother.
Sorry.
No
I missed like half of what you said.
Oh, you're fine. I was just like, yeah, I'm not allowed to do it because like yeah, anytime it happens, it's like send this one to my brother, send this one to my boyfriend, send this one to my friend, like going down the list. Yeah, that's not good.
No, it's so addictive. I wish I never downloaded it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I will come back to these previous comments. This is my brother being freaking weird. So
Words. I love it.
I don't know what this one is in reference to, but okay. Yes, I know. No TikToks.
Oh, me?
like for the like don't use TikTok. So China's like, all right, keep your secrets. Yes, yes, you do. You big nerd. I don't know why you did that, but okay. Anyway, I cussed out the weather because it's too cold to wear what I want to wear, and I braided my hair. I'm so sorry. I hate when the weather doesn't cooperate with a good outfit choice.
Yeah. The weather here today was 80.
Jealous. We were in the like 50s today.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm ready for warm weather, so whenever I had to like wear a sweater again, I was like, ugh.
No, I hate it. And it's because we're in the weird part of the year. It happens like in the spring, in the fall, where every other day it's either in the 50s or in the 80s. So we can't turn on our AC yet. So it's like either super hot in the house or not so hot.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that. We get that too, especially in the fall. Our thing is like it'll be 40 in the morning and then it's like 80 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Icy in the cars in the morning, and then you're just sweating, have to take off every layer in the afternoon. So fun.
Exactly. Yeah, they're so addictive. Like
I moved my TikTok app to like the very last page of everything, so it's like, oh, it'll keep me from scrolling. No, now I'm like perpetually on the last page of all my apps.
I love that.
It's such a bad habit. I've gotten better though. Not great.
Yeah, whenever you did that like swapping screen time for reading video, do you think that like actually helped you like keep the trend?
It did for like a week, and then I went back straight away to it. But what was helping me the most was when I set up like screen time limits. But then I undid all of those and took them all off.
Yeah.
So I need to put them all back on, but
yeah, I I used to do the one where it was like I couldn't like I had everything limited so I couldn't touch my phone in the morning until like 8 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
And then that one I just eventually was like, this is pointless. I end up turning it off anyway. But I tend to actually like I think it's an hour limit for like my social media. And I tend to actually like follow that one once I hit that like cutoff. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, done. The only one I don't do that with is Reddit. Like on Reddit, just some days it's like I don't give a shit. I'm gonna keep scrolling. Like I get
Yeah.
really addicted to like am I the asshole posts or like best
Okay.
of Reddit updates. And then I could sit there and read those for like 3 hours.
I never really go on Reddit except for when I have like a question that I can't find answered anywhere else. It's always on Reddit.
Yeah, honestly, that's true. Reddit has such a niche like grouping of
Yeah.
things. Now,
It's very cool.
I don't know what this means, Bob, but love you. I need to jump off and stop ignoring my husband. Oh, fine. But love you, bye. 39 degrees. I'm so sorry.
I kind of wish it was.
Ugh, like I'm ready for springtime.
I don't know. I still would rather be bundled up. There's no springtime here though. It's just like semi less hot than summer weather.
Yeah.
80s, 90s instead of 115s.
Yeah, that's fair. Like we get, yeah, I was about to say ours is like 80s, but we get pretty bad humidity in the springtime,
Ew.
unfortunately. Which
Yeah, we don't, which is nice. We get that end of summer.
yeah, gotta love humidity. Makes it so much better. Snowed yesterday, but was warm today. Good lord, that's wow. That's a big jump in like temperature, though.
That's wild.
Also, oh god, the fact that it's still snowing in places like I guess it's because I grew up in like Texas where we get like one snow maybe once a year.
Yeah.
And like whenever I went to college in Ohio and we would like still be getting snow. Oh, we got snow into April one year and I was like, no, absolutely not. This is ridiculous. It is springtime. And yeah, it's just like I could never live there long term.
I visited Chicago on spring break once, and it was so deep. Like there was a full blizzard, and I was like, "What is this? This is spring break."
Oh my gosh. That's insane. Like I mean, my brother has a saying though that he's like, well, I mean, at least in Texas, you don't have to shovel heat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your tires explode on the freeway sometimes.
Yeah.
You know summer has started when you see like a dozen cars on the side of the freeway.
Yeah, that's not wrong, honestly.
That's
Yeah.
always when I know, like, oh, it's officially summer. Everyone's tires are blowing.
Yeah, that's true.
Good night.
Bye. Good night. Okay, it's 8:20, so we got time for one more sprint, and then
One more sprint. And then I gotta see what happens to my character.
And then Paige has to go priorities.
I'm sorry. The next sprint, I will sacrifice my show for you, but not on this episode.
It's really okay. I was planning to go until about 9 anyway, so that works out really perfectly. No problem. Okay. 30 minutes. Every time.
You gotta check 10 seconds before, and then it doesn't scare you as bad.
Apparently. Okay. So how'd you do?
Not bad. I don't think I made it very far. I think I started the night at 1:30, and I'm at 162.
All right. Well, still made progress.
Yeah, or maybe I was at 115, because I know I read 30 before, and now I'm somehow on 162. So, that's something.
Nice.
Gordo.
Fair, honestly. Gordo is an asshole, but my favorite.
No, but on the second reread, I kind of feel like he's less of an asshole, and I'm kind of more mad at Mark this time. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that Gordo grows on you, and once you realize like his love shows, it's like, oh, like he really is a good guy.
He hurt him so bad.
Yeah, exactly. I finished The Wrath of Wolves.
Yeah?
Yes, and it had a shocking little epilogue back through James's perspective.
Okay.
So I'm intrigued about what the next book is going to be. And then in the author's note at the end, this one came out in 2019, and they said something along the lines of like, let's make 2020 a good one. And I was just like, oh,
wishful thinking. It's always so funny to look back at those things and be like, 2020 is going to be our year.
Narrator, it was not.
Not our year.
Yeah. But hey, I finished a book. That's my priority or my focus right now. So
I'm still not even halfway through this book. I just forget how dense these are.
They're so chunky. Like, I think the fact that I read them via ebook the first time, like I didn't realize how long they were. Like I remember seeing on my Storygraph that like I had, I don't know, like one book that month that was over 500 pages, and I was like, what was it? And it was Brother Song, and I was like, Brother Song was over 500 pages?
Like, I remember I read Wolf Song and Raven Song like each in one day. Like I read Wolf Song in one day in its entire. I mean, I might have stayed up until like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
but I read that in one sitting, and then I think I did the same with Raven Song, and I'm like, how is it taking me months to reread this?
Oh my god, I think it's because you know how emotionally devastating it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wolf Song was a rough reread.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, oh my god, I cried like 5 times reading like the first.
Yeah,
because when I first started it, I like started it at like 7 o'clock, and I didn't stop reading until like 3 a.m. because I was like, it hit the point where I was like, I have to read to when Joe comes back. I have to read until Joe comes back, and then it just like kept going, and I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be a ride. Like I had to have cried like 5 times that night.
Oh, I ugly cried. That was like puffy-eyed. Mm-hmm. I was not well the next day. I think I read The House on the Cerulean Sea the next day.
Oh, I wouldn't blame you.
It was strange.
Yeah. What a cheer up though.
But I didn't know it was by the same author. I remember thinking like, what? How?
That's funny. I mean, they are very different.
They are so different.
Okay. Got showered. Hey, being productive. Productivity is really. Alrighty. Well, look at that. It's 8:55.
My pizza's almost here. I'll know what happens.
You could go get your ship love.
I know. I think one of the guys has to give the other one CPR at like the beginning of the episode. So
there you go.
It's so worth it.
Okay, so there's literally one person watching right now, and it's probably Aspasia, but thank you for showing up to everybody and anybody who watches this in the future, possibly. I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully I will have more reading sprints at some point in the future. This is a thing I want to try.
Would love to do more. I want to also do some too, eventually.
Yeah. It's something you always plan, but just when does it happen? But anyway, yeah, page is linked in the description down below for anybody watching back. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.